why don't you tell me about that? It was actually one of the biggest settlements, as you say, that the state of New Jersey's ever won in the environmental arena.
I think it's one of the biggest settlements that any state has ever won in the environmental arena. So earlier this month, we announced a really massive settlement with the DuPont family of companies over a number of contaminated sites that we've been in dispute over for a number of years. A leading issue in this dispute has been the propagation of perfluorinated PFAS forever chemicals throughout the state of New Jersey, and particularly of high density in the southern half of New Jersey. DuPont and its progeny has operated for a number of sites around New Jersey, and this particular case involved 4 DuPont sites in the southern half, the northern, and the central part of New Jersey. 2 of those 4 sites were PFAS manufacturing sites where things like Teflon were made.
Okay.
And the southernmost site, the Chambers Works site at the foot of the Delaware Memorial Bridge in New Jersey, was actually one of the places where DuPont sent its PFAS waste from all across the country to New Jersey for disposal. In effect, DuPont used New Jersey as its PFAS toilet for the country.
Wow.
And so we pursued an action together, the DEP and the Attorney General, in 2019, and like any litigation, took a number of years. And it went to trial, where I sat as the lead witness for the state in May. Trial lasted about a month, and during a break in the trial, settlement negotiations were underway, and we were able to reach a really beneficial agreement for the people of New Jersey. Valued at over $2 billion across those 4 sites. DuPont is going to ensure the cleanup of those sites to the state's satisfaction at an estimated $1.2 billion of cleanup, and that number can vary based on the need of the remediation, and it'll modulate over time. And an $875 cash payment that will extend over 25 years, and that will be used and designated rather for an abatement fund to help folks with things like water treatment or the remediation of a private potable well, because still 15% of New Jersey is served by private potable wells.
Wow.
Helping to get PFAS out of wastewater or stop it leaching from landfills would be all part of this abatement fund, and putting significant resources to the restoration of natural resource damages. So a pretty great result for the people of New Jersey, and we're out to public comment on that settlement in September, and we'll hope to get it finalized by the end of the year.
Well, congratulations. Obviously, you and your legal team must have done a great job to come up with that result, because they're not they're pretty tough, the companies you're up against and their lawyers. So, congratulations again.
Appreciate that. Yeah, sure, they're tough, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, folks want to do the right thing, and we help get them there.
Great. When PFAS first made headlines, it was referred to as the forever chemical. And originally, at least, the common wisdom was you couldn't do anything with it. You couldn't clean it up. You couldn't treat it. That, I guess, is advanced. Now you're talking about treatment options and remediations?
Sure. To be clear, PFAS chemicals cover a class of probably more than 5,000, depending on how you count them, different types of compounds. And the toxicity of those compounds is going to be dependent on the specific PFAS contaminant we're talking about. In New Jersey, because of the manufacturing that we've had here, the primary contaminants that we've been dealing with are PFOA, PFOS, PFNA. So we have standards set in New Jersey. We're actually the first state in the country to investigate and set standards for these chemicals. Put the first ones in place back in 2018. And some progress has been made on the ability to treat PFAS, certainly in water.
Okay.
But disposing of it, completely destroying it permanently, is still a matter of a lot of technical development and debate. So there are some treatment technologies that are available that claim the ability to completely destroy PFAS at incredibly super high temperatures, and that is a type of technology that is continuing to be in development. It's worth continuing developing and exploring, but I think we're in many ways at the beginning of the beginning in dealing with the real ramifications of a contaminant that cycles so widely throughout the environment, that bioaccumulates in the bodies of fish and wildlife and people. You and I both have PFAS in our blood serum, undoubtedly, and how we permanently deal with the fact that it will be persistent for a long period of time, right? We shouldn't suffer any delusion that we will somehow magically find it everywhere and clean it up everywhere. The question is, I think, as the first order question is, how do we disrupt the cycle whereby PFAS is widely cycling throughout the water cycle, the air cycle, the carbon cycle, through, etc. And I don't think there's a state that is further along in that work than New Jersey, and I'm really proud of our people.
Fantastic. Let me skip a minute to other actions that you've brought against polluters, not related to PFAS. You've had a number of good settlements in court. Now, it's one thing to get a settlement in court or get a judgment in court, and then sometimes to collect the money. How is that going? I know some of these people are very well. They're unconscionable polluters, and they don't want to pay, and they'll probably drag their heels. So where is that?
So the work that we've done in ensuring accountability, I think, is a huge part of the legacy of this administration over the last 8 years. Right? Litigation is by no means the first measure of ensuring accountability, and indeed it should be the last, and we should pursue that forcefully where we need to. But on the front end, we should try to work with the entities that owe compliance to the people of New Jersey, and we shouldn't be shy about being tough on them where we need to be and going to court when we have to. Unfortunately, there was a long period of time before 2018 where those types of actions weren't being pursued routinely, and there was a lot of catching up to do. And so I think that we've done a lot of that catching up, and we're turning our focus to how we ensure compliance assurance, right? Provide compliance assistance, and provide routine enforcement against regulated entities that are non-compliant across the board. Companies or units of government, it doesn't matter, right? We all of those actors have the same obligations under our environmental laws. And in terms of when we head to court and we receive a judgment from the court, we have by and large seen over the last 7 years that I've been here the ready compliance with those judicial decrees. There are some entities that might sit on the sidelines, but folks like DuPont, Chemours, Solvay, 3M, Honeywell, Exxon, that we've reached settlements with after having to go to court, we're seeing those monies paid, and I am confident that in these long-term settlements that they will continue to be paid, and the agreements that we've struck have backstops to ensure that happens.
Great. Well, Commissioner DEP Sean LaTourette, we very much appreciate your time today, and all best to you in your continuing work at the DEP.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.